yesterday I said, in fact, let me, I think it's around here somewhere, what I said. And I said...
it's in a ton of articles, too, online.
Oh my God. Yeah, a ton. After shocking claims spread online, the WWE Legends rep, who's probably Nick Hogan, his son, is setting the record straight. Now, Brian, doesn't this really, really, really discredit you when you're setting the record straight, but then 4 or 5 hours as more news sources start diving into this, it goes from a neck and back procedure to actually they describe it as a pretty extensive, Us Magazine recovering from a pretty serious heart surgery. Now, that is, I mean, right? So I report it. Lummy, it's what, right when the show was ending?
Yes.
And by 10:10, it's everywhere.
Well, yeah, TMZ came out and was made sure to
really bury me.
Well, bury you, and then also, try to bury the story.
Hulk Hogan is not on his deathbed, despite internet rumors that sent fans into a feeding frenzy this week. The WWE Icon's rep confirmed that while the 71-year-old was recently hospitalized, there is no reason to panic. Speculation began when YouTuber Bubba the Love Sponge. Let me, if you click on that, does it take you to?
Yes, our YouTube the short.
Oh,
because see by the way, man,
if you did some sniffing around, you might
hate Hulk Hogan. Before TMZ came out to debunk it, man, there were a lot of people so happy that Hogan was dying.
So the claim quickly went viral, and here's a little bit what I said. Find him at a hospital near you. Okay, that's true. We know that true, right?
Yes.
What we do know, true. He's in I know that I actually know what hospital he's in. I'm just not going to tell you.
Oh, no.
And it's not good. Okay? When you have let me just put this story over here. When you have a pretty serious heart surgery, Brian, you deal with health and medical malpractice and personal injuries and things like that. A pretty serious heart surgery is a far cry from a neck and back procedure.
Big time. I'm working on a couple of parodies related to this in my head right now.
Bubba, I sent you the TMZ one because that's the one where that's what everyone's using to
bury you.
Yeah.
Oh, to bury me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was the first one that came out.
All right. So should I get rid of this one?
Yeah, not that one.
And go over that one?
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan deathbed rumors bogus, brother. At hospital for neck and back issues. Okay, that's great. And that's that was yesterday morning. He doesn't look good there.
By the way, in that title, they made it look like Hogan's the one who said that too.
And so Hulk Hogan is not on his last legs. TMZ Sports is told the WWE legend was hospitalized to address lingering neck and back issues. Well, we all know that to now be not true. That was a lie. Right? I mean, am I right?
Yeah.
The speculation started when local radio guy, that's all I am to them, local radio guy went on the air.
40-year content creator, please.
Yes. YouTuber. Influencer.
And everybody knows Taker runs the ICU, so Hogan's in big trouble.
Went on. Actually, Taker did supposedly spud him in Detroit, and it was Hogan really, really. Taker thought he was in trouble, but because he spudded Hogan in Detroit, and when they replayed the tape, Taker took such good care of him. Terry's neck didn't hit the canvas, but Hogan wanted some time off because it was summertime with the kids, and so he Taker thought he was in big trouble because at that time Hogan was a golden goose. Bubba the Love Sponge went on the air and stated that he had heard the wrestling icon was in bad shape, to the point where his loved ones were getting called to say goodbyes. And then, Lummy, I think this is the excerpt, right?
Yes.
If you did some sniffing around, you might find him at a hospital near you. True. Check.
Oh, no.
And it's not good. Well, major heart surgery usually isn't good. I got some pretty reliable information last night that there are phone calls being made to various family members about getting to town to come say your goodbyes.
Oh.
I don't know.
Have you been invited?
Well, of course, I'll be the line. No.
Oh, of course you're going to be. Oh.
Of course, I'm going to put a picture of me and say, don't let this man in anywhere near the hospital. I'll get stopped in the employee parking lot with a list of not getting in.
What if he does want to forgive you on his deathbed, though? That would mean a lot to you.
I mean, that ain't going to happen. To run it by Seth.
What? Yeah, no.
Seth.
Oh, he doesn't have your new number.
He didn't have my new number.
Yeah.
He can get a hold of me. But, so, listen, I don't know this. So everybody, I mean, Lummy, half the day, and even major radio personalities in this town were just killing me. I mean, to the point of name calling, and that I'm irrelevant, and not relevant, and that I'm grasping, and that this is just absolutely criminal that you would come out and say this, and it could potentially be a HIPAA violation, and all this.
It's so funny to me how people have no clue about HIPAA.
Right.
They have no clue. It's just the legal things that people think they know and just spout off is hilarious.
Much like defamation and slander and libel. People think, that if you say something on the air, listen, you have to prove. It's so hard to prove defamation, slander. You have to first prove damages, first and foremost. Well, no,
there's some things that you can say that are that the damages are assumed.
Okay, but
if you loathsome diseases, things like that.
If you're a public figure,
yeah,
it's tough to prove.
It's tough.
If you're the one of the world's most popular people in the world, and I'm doing anything short of reading your medical chart, I'm not creating a HIPAA violation. I'm speculating on information that I received.
You can read his medical chart. You're not a medical provider that is bound by HIPAA.
Oh, so if I would happen to get his medical chart, I could read it.
Yes,
to be true. Rumor has it. Word on the street.
Well, how reliable are your sources? I mean,
pretty damn. And this sent everybody into a just absolute feeding frenzy. And it's amazing, all you pieces of shiz out there, how this all changed. And guess what? I was right. Reliable, but I still want to frame it, Seth, in case he got discharged last night at midnight. And I've not been able to talk to my sources, since yesterday. 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So my sources are that, and I don't know it to be true. Rumor has it. Allegedly, Hogan is in the hospital, and this is where I nail it. I think I said he has a heart procedure.
Yeah, he should be right here.
And I've heard people say that he might not make it.
Oh.
I know that I said heart.
Oh, you said heart multiple times.
Bubba couched a lot of his intel, claiming that sources were rock solid, but things could have changed since the last communication. A rep. So yesterday, they got a hold of probably Nick or Jimmy Hart.
Hey, man, how's it
I just
going?
want to let you know, keep on dancing, but Terry's fine. He had a neck situation.
He's gonna be walking right out of here.
He's walking right on out of here.
Hogan's doing great, baby.
Yeah. Baby, he's doing great.
He's doing it. He's never been better.
Woo.
He's going to get the same response when he walks out of here as when he walked out for Netflix.
He keeps on dancing.
A rep, just a flat-out lie. A flat-out lie. This may not be a lie that he's not close to death, but he's dealing with ailments that he's had for years. In fact, we're told that Hogan's moving around. Of course, previously reported he underwent a neck surgery last month, but by all accounts, it was a big success.
Now, do you have an update from your source?
I do.
Ooh.
But I'm not going to talk about it yet.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, we gotta
tease it.
We gotta wait for the 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah, I got to wait for optimal.
Maybe TMZ will put that one on their front page.
Oh, I doubt it. I doubt it, because TMZ knows the truth. TMZ knows the truth. And for half the day yesterday, until Us saved me, Us Celebrity News, Us Magazine.
Thank God for you, Us Weekly.
Hulk Hogan recovering from a pretty serious heart surgery. Exclusive. Hulk Hogan is recovering after recently undergoing a heart surgery. A source close to the wrestling legend exclusively tells Us Weekly, Hulk had a pretty serious heart surgery a few weeks ago and was doing well afterwards. It wasn't a near-death thing, the source claims. Hogan's been recovering from the operation, but the insider clarifies that he's not on death's door. Rumors about Hogan's health started circulating Wednesday when radio host Bubba the Love Sponge said Hogan, 71, was at the hospital and phone calls had been made to his loved ones about getting to town and coming to say their goodbyes. That did happen. So there's so much of this to cover, Lummy, and it's amazing how nobody is, reporting. Bubba was right. This wasn't a neck deal. This wasn't, I think Eric Bischoff reported it as a cervical?
Yeah, cervical surgery.
A cervical surgery. I mean, that guy said that, like at 7 o'clock last night. They got Eric Bischoff.
It was his birthday. He was partying.
And so, they got Eric Bischoff as late as 6, 7 o'clock yesterday saying it was a No, it wasn't. It was a heart. It was a heart procedure.
So you stand by your reporting.
Oh, absolutely.
Despite the whole world being against you.
Well, I mean, I think the whole world now, I mean, if you just Google it, here's what Hulk Hogan recently underwent a pretty serious heart situation. And then all of these, Syracuse.com, WWE legend 71 had a pretty serious heart surgery a few weeks ago. KOMO television station 14 hours ago. Hulk had a pretty serious heart surgery.
Now, it says a few weeks ago. Is this an active situation? What's going on?
Here's what I'm hearing, is that he did have the most. The majorist,
that's you're fine. Go ahead, move on.
He had the majorist of the heart procedure about a week and a half ago, and
open heart surgery.
And he's having It's an AFib with another situation, and he's having complications from that heart surgery. And there's a thing that I could say that I'm going to probably say a little bit later that will really put how dire of a situation this is when I tell you this one particular thing. And if I'm the whack job, or I'm there was radio personalities in town calling me all kinds of names, and that I had to come up with stuff like this to stay relevant. Well, it looks like I was right. And my rebuttal back to whoever thinks I'm wrong is, then take a picture of Hogan right now in his hospital bed with today's newspaper, or something that can, something that can prove that it's today.
This is like when you're sexting a girl and you just want to be sure she's a girl and not Marvin.
I want to be sure.
I need this exact sentence put on there.
I want to be sure that he's not on what I've been told, because if what I've been told is the case, he ain't gonna make it.
Well, we don't know that.
I mean, I'm in my opinion, in
your medical professional opinion,
in my humble opinion, allegedly, rumor has it, and I don't know it to be true, but in my opinion, if what I was told last night, and listen, I got to tell you, listen, I'm just gonna throw this little Iggy out there, Jake. You need to stop running your mouth, because that's where I'm getting a lot of my intel, and that's all I'm gonna say. Jake
Roberts?
No.
Oh.
Nope. I'm just there's a guy named Jake that's very close to Hogan that likes to really talk a lot. And, I know what hospital he's in. And I know
Can we call his room?
Can you imagine?
All right, Bubba, we're on the air.
We should at least send flowers.
Yeah,
man.
send an edible arrangement or something.
Hoodie up, maybe a brand new lunch bag and a backpack and a backpack.
Hey, let me ask. I mean,
hoodie up.
I understand why you probably wouldn't want to come out and say yes. Hulk Hogan's possibly dying. But why would they, if it is true, why would they say no?
Because he has a lot of business dealings.
Yes, because
and you don't want people freaking out about that.
Right. Right now he's on the, Brian, you're right. He just signed that, that new beer deal, and there's millions and millions of dollars of investors in that. He just signed that new wrestling federation with a TV deal. There's millions and millions and millions of dollars on that. He's got that new Madison Square Garden right across the street, supposedly $25 million sports bar that's going to pay him for his naming rights. So there's millions and millions of dollars there. He's got, a surf. He's got 2 memorabilia surf shops, one in Orlando, one here in Clearwater, and then he's got a restaurant beach bar. So
he's been canceling a lot of his appearances for the Real American Beer.
So Brian, you're right. He's got millions and millions of dollars of investors, not necessarily. I guarantee you, not a dollar of it's his, but other people's money that you don't want. Because you start freaking out the investors, Brian. As well as I do.
Pull out.
They either pull out or they start raising hell, or
they'll just blow you up.
Start maybe filing lawsuits.
Well, I don't know about lawsuits, but
you could argue you didn't disclose this while we were in good faith negotiation.
If there's a medical disclosure requirement in the contract,
I'm just saying anybody can sue anybody for anything. You know that, and so. Again, let me right here. Longview News Journal. Hulk Hogan on the mend after heart surgery 11 hours ago. Hulk Hogan is reportedly on the mend after undergoing a pretty serious and extensive heart surgery. Well, you know what? Everybody thought I was nuts and that I'm, seeking attention and everything when I said indeed yesterday it was a heart procedure and not a neck, cervical, back, that kind of deal. And I have there's another thing that I can say, I can speculate. And Brian, you're obviously one of my attorneys, so maybe you can help me craft how I say it.
You have a reliable source that you're relying on. You can report what you're being told. You're fine. Right. And it's about a celebrity. You have no liability in this.
And I feel, honest to God, I appreciate you, and I appreciate your knowledge, and I appreciate you being in here to help me navigate through this. It makes me feel better, knowing that, you're here to, like, if I was going places that, you're like, and I know you would do that for me.
Absolutely.
And so, anyway, I'm not going to say it now, but I will say it probably, let me by 8. And as soon as I tell you this little bit of information, people will really start to freak out. And I don't know it to be true, but I've been told, by really good sources that this is the case. And at that point, man, it's going to blow this thing wide open.
Oh, man. Bust it wide open.
And here's the deal. Hulk Hogan's rep, you lied. I mean, I think we can all agree, whether you like me or not, whoever Hulk Hogan's spokesperson and or rep, they lied on my initial intel. Did they not?
Yes.
They lied. They thought this would go away, and they lied. Then Us Weekly and KOMO and just hundreds and hundreds of news places found some additional information to validate that indeed it was not part of his neck back procedure, that this was a pretty serious heart surgery. Now, that's a far cry from a neck/back surgery. I don't know, Brian, how many neck and back surgeries have killed people. I don't know. I'm sure there has.
It happens.
I'm sure it has. When Grandma, age 88, goes in there to fix her neck and, she doesn't make it. Hogan still is probably fairly physically strong, but, he's 71 years old. His heart has endured a lot of trauma. Steroids and stuff that, Terry allegedly, well, I can firsthand knowledge. I shot steroids with him.
Oh my God.
We did. I mean, Brian, I can't get in trouble for that. We did steroids together.
Whoa.
You guys have very similar physiques now, too.
Yeah, we do. So it's just amazing how they lied, and nobody's calling them out on. You tried to play the shell game by saying this potential. You are completely embellishing how good a shape he's really in, because he's not in good shape. I can tell you that right now. He's not in good shape. And guess what, Eric Bischoff? According to your statement, he's not coming. I think even Eric Bischoff yesterday, let me say that he might be going home last night.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and give you the latest. Yesterday, I told you right before I left that Hulk Hogan had a heart procedure done, and he might not be doing too well. That came out with his rep saying that he had a neck and back procedure a couple weeks ago, and he's doing fine, just fine. Eric Bischoff comes up and said, no, he had a cervical procedure, and he's might get out of the hospital today. Well, I took a lot of shrapnel yesterday because people don't want to believe what I have to say. I think now it's been pretty much confirmed what I said yesterday was truthful. Maybe not he's going to die or he's on death's doorstep, but family members are being asked to come see him. I can say that. And so with that being said, and I want to make sure I say this, I want to make sure I cover my ass and make sure I don't get ahead of myself too much. But, I've been told, I don't know it necessarily to be true, but allegedly
from a reliable source.
From a reliable source, and this is what has me concerned about Hulk Hogan potentially not being with us. Because it's my understanding when this happens medically, it is what they call sometimes the kiss of death. And from a reliable source, I've been told that Hulk Hogan is on a ventilator.
Oh.
And I think that, listen, in the two people I've lost in the last 3 years, that was the kiss of death when you put a person on a ventilator. Now, it could very well be false. He could very well have maybe been on a ventilator and he's not on one now. Or he could still be on that ventilator, or he never was on a ventilator. But, the information that I got yesterday was truthful and factual. So I don't know why this wouldn't be. And I think, Brian, you being a personal injury attorney and, having knowledge of medical procedures and things like that, that when they put somebody on a ventilator, it's not good.
Well, no, generally speaking, if you need assistance in breathing, things are not going well for you.
I've been told the reason why he needs a ventilator from my source, and again, I hope, even though Hogan hates me, and even though we have this history, and I'm certainly not on his best friends list anymore, I hope and pray for his longevity that this is not true, that this is the information that I got that's not true, that's been embellished, or is old and he maybe was on a ventilator, but he's now, gotten better and is off a ventilator. But I've been told that he was on a ventilator, and the reason why, and again, he could be off of it now, is that he couldn't push the carbon monoxide, he could not expel that from his lungs. He was having an issue. I guess when you breathe, I don't know anything about lungs. I don't know anything about ventilators. I don't know anything about any of it. But from what I've been told, that, when you breathe, you also expel carbon monoxide. And that is or was or could be his potential problem as to why he's on a ventilator. Now, it's got his entire inner circle freaked out. that's what leads me to believe that he still may be on one. Or maybe he, for lack of a better term, hulked up and through medicine and through medical procedures and through expert doctor's care, you can bet that he's got the best. I know what hospital he's at. I'm not going to disclose that, but through really good doctors and very smart people, maybe they've been able to fine tune his heart situation and get it working so that he doesn't have to be on one. But that's what I was told.
And was that yesterday?
That was yesterday afternoon. I actually wanted to go on the air like it's at 6. I wanted to come down to the studios at 6 o'clock at night and say, or go live from my cell phone and say, hey, but I wanted to save it for the show because I wanted a whole day to be able to bask in the fact that I was right yesterday. Now, I may be wrong today, and let's hope that I am.
So what do you get out of being right in all this? That's my question. Like, do you get personal satisfaction?
No,
what is it?
I mean, listen, if you're a person that creates content and you can get the scoop on something that's this big of a story, then as a journalist or as a talk show host or a content provider or whatever the hell I am.
So it's like professionally. It's not like you get personal satisfaction.
Oh
out
my
of this.
God, no! I mean, I don't want any of this. I hope that I would love for Eric Bischoff's statement to be correct, and that is this was a cervical situation, and he's going home later tonight. This doesn't come from a point. It doesn't come from a place of madness or. I've accepted the fact that Hogan will never be my friend and that he thinks I, am the biggest scum known to earth. I just happen to have some still pretty close, ties to his inner circle, and was yesterday given correct information that everybody. I mean, Brian, you saw it early on and clear up until, the Us magazine. I was I was the biggest dick in the entire world yesterday. I mean, all the names they called me. He's a fake news, fraud, the whole 9 yards.
It was the Ayatollah and then Bubba that was trending in the hate category.
Right, exactly.
Yesterday.
and I think I might have been a few points ahead of the Ayatollah.
Yes, at one point, yes.
Yes.
But I think you feel differently today than you did yesterday because now I feel like you need to prove the validity of what you said yesterday and today.
Well, I mean, I think today proves, after all of the reports that we have gotten on the overnight and yesterday afternoon, proves that the information, I'm not saying the information I'm giving out now, but the information that I gave out yesterday was more truthful than not. It was a heart issue, and he is in the hospital. And it had nothing to do with his neck, nothing to do with his back, nothing to do with his cervical situation. It was a heart issue. And again, look, I have Celebrity News, Us Magazine pulled up. Hulk Hogan recovering from a pretty serious heart surgery. That's pretty much what I said yesterday. Now, I was told yesterday that he was on a ventilator. But I didn't say that yesterday because I thought that would just completely blow people's minds. So I've been sitting on that for a few days.
A few days?
Well, I mean, yesterday, let me see, what's today? Thursday? So Tuesday night, I knew it. Yesterday, Wednesday, I came out with... He's in trouble. He's not doing so swell.
Have you gotten an update since Tuesday night from your source?
Yes, last night.
And what was that status quo still? I mean, has anything changed in his condition? Like what's the?
That's the latest is that he's on a ventilator.
But he was on a ventilator Tuesday. You said,
but I wasn't prepared to give that. I wasn't prepared to give that information on Tuesday. In fact, that would be just blowing everybody's mind.
Yeah, you didn't want to blow everybody's mind, right?
No, of course not.
This is a 2-part mind blower.
And I'll continue to give you updates. And here's the thing, Hogan's reps, Hogan's representatives, Eric Bischoff, prove me wrong. Not just with words saying, I mean, obviously Terry's reps lie, right? I mean, we've established that. They lie.
Well, he could have also had a neck and back procedure at some point, so they could be bending the truth magically.
Yeah. But Brian, you're what you said. The reason why Hogan's reps are treading lightly on this and maybe not being forthright in what's really happening is because there's investors. There's tens of millions of dollars of investors and startup companies, whether it be the beer company, whether it be he's a brand that is backed by millions of dollars. And when you have something this catastrophic that's potentially happening to the face of your brand, people get freaked out. This isn't just Hulk Hogan who's retired and lives, in Clearwater Beach and watches the sunset every night and counts his, $56 million. This is Hulk Hogan that's, in Grand Rapids, Michigan on Saturday, Green Bay, Wisconsin on Sunday, Milwaukee on Monday, all doing in-store liquor appearances for his brand new beer brand that he's promoting, along with his new wrestling league, along with, his new sports bar at Madison Square Garden. So, I'm trying to be as irresponsible as you think I'm trying to be. I'm not. I'm just giving you the information that I'm getting that could be wrong. But don't call me names and don't, wish death upon me and call me fake news and a fat ass and everything that you've called me, disgusting, HIPAA violation. Hogan's going to sue you for HIPAA violations. I'm only telling you what the information. I'm a journalist at this point that's giving you information about arguably one of the most popular men in the world. At least during our lifetime, one of the top 5 most popular people in the world that happens to be going through, I think, a very difficult time medically.
Top 5 actors also.
And Suburban Commando was
Mr.
second.
Nanny.
Yes, the best. Santa with muscles.
I like No Holds Barred, but that's just me.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure, Lummy, I'm going to go into words so I'm not late.
Creets and Travis, $200.
Oh my God. But I want to make sure everybody knows I could be wrong. And my source that I talked to yesterday said that he could have been taken off of it.
But for all I know, you may be right.
But you trying to make a song about it?
I think they did. Billy Joel, right?
Yes.
But you may be wrong.
But here's the deal.
Here's another song about this. Hulk on a ventilator. Filling his lungs because he can't breathe on his own. Hulk on a ventilator. It's a love in an elevator,
I don't think that's going to make people like us anymore on the information we're trying to give them.
Let me cut that out when you send it to TMZ.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the deal. I mean, hey, I'm just giving you the information I got, and Hulk Hogan being on a ventilator is big news, and being on a ventilator is not good. And
you got to keep him respirating.
Offspring.
And so, what are the Hulk reps going to say now? And why don't you take a picture of him? Take a picture of him not on a respirator. I'm sorry, ventilator.
With a sign that says, "Hi, Bubba," and with the date?
Well, I don't know.
Just a newspaper would do it for Bubba.
But I mean, Brian, that when they go to the vent.
Why don't we send Lummy down to the hospital?
No, I don't want to do any of that.
Why not?
I just want to be the journalist that I'm trying to be.
That's real journalism.
No, we're not doing that.
You could check in from the cafeteria.
It's Lummy, and I've been asking everybody here that's serving if Hogan is really on a ventilator or not.
T-shirt, $20.
I can't seem to get close to the room.
Well,
we're not doing any of that.
I got one cease and desist from him, so I'll do it for another one.
We're not doing any of that zookeeper, break into the hotel.
That's nothing zookeeper about that. That's hard-hitting reporting, man.
You know what? For those hard-hitting journalists that potentially know what hotel, what hospital he's in, you know what, Lummy? Us Weekly, Us Magazine, they were able to get to the bottom of the truth yesterday. Maybe I am just, I'm just leading you guys down a path of questions to start asking, because that's what I was told. And you know what? I'm going to end it with this before I go into words, and Lummy will be, actually, maybe I should take a few phone calls. But I hope I'm wrong, because my source did tell me that there's a chance he's off of it now, and he was only on it for 3 or 4 days, and he could be off of it now. And that would be the best news ever, that he beat it. He was able to beat whatever ailment caused him to have to be on a ventilator.
You know, there's a song for that, Beat It. I'm just saying.
Hello, who's this?
LH.
Hi, LH.
Hey, how you doing this morning, Bubba?
Good.
Hey, I gotta let you know, I was listening to you yesterday. See, what they talking about when you say your source gave you the information, that the way you was talking yesterday morning, you did say he was at them pearly gates. I mean, you start talking like you breaking it. Oh, man, you felt so bad. And then self-action, you say, if something did happen, how would you say I'll be torn? What they talk, and you didn't mention nothing about heart surgery yesterday morning. You did say the neck and back. But
he did say heart. He did say heart.
You're wrong on that.
You get new information. I'm telling you, I didn't hear nothing.
Well,
maybe
good.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, well, you can continue to be wrong. I'm done with you, okay, bud? I don't have time to argue with you. Look at your copious notes that you take of the show and realize that I did mention that he had heart health situations yesterday, okay? I'm not in the mood for it. I'm already treading on thin ice right now. Hated by everybody. Somebody has to give this information. What if Channel 10 was giving it to you? Do you hate them less, or do you hate me more because of because of me and Terry's history? And Brian, journalists are wrong all the time, are they not?
Oh yeah, people get stories wrong all the time.
Right. I think I've couched it several times by saying I hope to God I am wrong.
I mean, you have a reliable source that's giving you information that's being confirmed by other sources.
At least
Us Weekly absolutely had a confirmation. We absolutely have a confirmation from Eric Bischoff that he was in the hospital and hoped to be released soon. I mean, there's absolutely pieces of truth, regardless of what you're saying, that have been confirmed by multiple sources now.
Right.
To what your original statement was.
Hi, who's this?
Mike from Niceville.
Hi, Mike.
I was coming in a little late on the Caitlin Clark deal. The girl that stood up for her played football in high school.
Yeah, we
you're coming in really late, buddy.
Yeah, we
go back about half an hour.
We already covered that, and she was a kicker. Yeah, we covered that.
Yeah.
And Bubba thinks he could have pancaked her.
I do think I could have. And finally, before I go to words, hello.
Hello.
And we come back with the Karen Reed story, because I've said what I was going to say with regards to Hogan, and that's what you're getting. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
I just wanted to express how impressed I am with your level of maturity, and how much you've changed, and you're really showing a lot of class by reporting this in the manner that you are. And good on you, Bubba, for doing that.
God, I love you. Thank you so much for being fair and honest and nice. Thank you.
No, I really noticed it when I tuned in this morning, and I thought, after everything that you've been through in your life, and I get it, and you're really showing a lot of class and dignity by reporting this in the way that you are. You're not crapping on the guy, and you're reporting it as is, and I think that's really important, and it speaks volumes.
Thank you. Thank you. Your words mean way more than you could ever imagine. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
You as well.
Thank you.
Don't go. From a female.
Wow. I know.
Wow.
The darkness of 100 trolls can be overcome by the light of one female listener.
Well, we need to make that a T-shirt immediately.